States Census Bureau, there are 25 such robberies every day, about 9,000 each year. And in cities like New York, bank robberies have reached their highest level in 15 years. It's difficult to know whether this is the effect of the current economic downturn, but one of the nation's most senior police officers believes that banks themselves may be largely to blame. It seems like the crime of our time. An armed standoff at a bank in South Carolina. A masked man walked in with a handgun, demanding cash. His business was collapsing, but nobody expected a former deacon from the local church to become an alleged bank robber. This grandmother from Ohio, a former bank teller, robbed 3 branches to support her son, who was deep in debt.
I would like to apologize for my actions.
And in the country's largest city,
it's a real big problem in the city of New York.
Bank robberies have spiked 57% in the last year. Nationwide, most bank jobs are done by petty criminals looking for a quick score.
We had 444 bank robberies last year citywide.
But the rising numbers are alarming, and cops are concerned.
That's the most bank robberies that the city experienced in 15 years.
Butch Nisi heads the New York Police Department's major case squad.
We track all our bank robberies citywide.
His team responds to every single incident.
Thank you, Central. Thank you.
It's an endless chase.
Good to see you.
We got the note?
We got the note.
All right,
right here.
Another night, another robbery. And the latest thorn in the squad's side has struck again.
Ask the manager if both doors are unlocked during business hours. Thank you.
This man, who approaches bank tellers in a heavy coat and his face covered, who hands a note, threatens violence and makes a quick escape, has, since late January, spread his efforts across Manhattan. 14 robberies to date, including 4 attempts in a single afternoon. He's walked away with over $16,000, including more than $2,000 from this Wachovia.
This is the first time we see him not wearing gloves and with a clear shot of his face.
It's frustrating that we were here earlier, and because we had another incident a few blocks away, we went to that to assist the other detectives with that incident, which was actually another bank robbery.
It's become easy to rob a bank. You don't need a gun. You don't even need a threat. All you need, as I say, is a pen and a paper. That's the reality, and that's the word in the criminal community.
Everybody get down on the floor now!
Contrary to popular fiction, most robberies in New York City are not the shoot-'em-up Hollywood type like the one from Inside Man. Surprisingly, Woody Allen's comedic "Take the Money and Run" might be more accurate.
I'm pointing a gun at you.
That looks like gun. That doesn't look like gun.
No, it's gun.
No, that's gun.
The robbers rarely flash guns. Most often, they just pass notes. Notes ranging from hostile, "Don't delay money," 13G, "I f***ing killing everyone," to the polite, "Thank you, I have a gun," to the comical, "Stay clam, I got a gun," to the crudely artistic. Many replete with spelling errors and signs of a poor education.
Some of the incidents that we investigate are laughable. The way the perps walk in there, pass a note, and they're able to walk out with money.
While the notes may be funny, these robbers get away with serious money.
Is this the same job?
Also on the wall, our suspect,
We linked these up because he had the same hood on both times, right?
who the squatters deemed pattern 2 after piecing together the clues tying him
This and this guy's the same guy.
from scene to scene to scene.
This is definitely the same guy. He's wearing the same clothes all the time.
So the blame, in your view, is solely on the banks?
We didn't see this percentage of bank robberies when we had banks that look like banks.
No problem. Have a great day.
At TD Bank, the head of retail integration sees things very differently. So you think it's all related to the recession?
More than anything else, yeah. If you look at the economic times, people that can't make it don't always take personal responsibility.
Do you think the recession's a factor?
It may be, it may ultimately be, but it really hasn't manifested itself to us.
With legendary service and hassle-free 7-day banking.
Commissioner Kelly has saved his greatest criticism for TD Bank, which prides itself on its convenience and welcoming environment.
Oh, for crying out loud, what's not to like? Let's get going.
You made some critical comments about a particular bank, TD Bank. What's your concern with that particular bank?
We believe that their business model or the architecture in the bank is such that it's conducive and inviting for individuals to come in and try to get money, rob the bank. We believe that the ballistic barriers are a significant deterrent, and that bank has resisted.
Why have you created this environment? What's the core purpose behind it?
Service and convenience. It is absolutely
Not
our model.
security.
America's most
Not
convenient
security.
bank. Security becomes part of that.
Security is less important than that.
Nah, that would be twisting my words. I
You just
think
said service.
service and convenience, and I would tell you
And
that
security comes third.
No, service and convenience is part of security.
I think it's fair to say that many banks see robberies just as a cost of doing business.
This is about an industry issue. This is not a TD Bank issue. This is absolutely an NYPD and industry issue. Banks are being robbed. There is an increase in bank robberies, and it is not good for the industry.
Platoon, prepare for inspection.
Meanwhile, it's early morning roll call at the 20th precinct.
Good morning, guys.
The squad is here to share information and distribute wanted posters of Pattern 2.
He is very slick, quiet, and monotone when he walks into the bank.
They need as many eyes on the street as they can get.
If you grab a guy, we're not here to steal it with glory. We're just here to help you out.
All they need is a tip-off. The number of bank robberies has reached such a critical point that Commissioner Kelly is even considering legislation that would force banks to enact security measures, a move that Kelly himself rejected back in 2003.
I was of the belief then that the banking industry saw the light and would make the requisite changes. That hasn't happened, so we may just have to resort to legislation.
Would you support legislative change?
I now think that probably the only way to go to get everybody on board.
To make banks legally obligated to have various security measures in every single branch?
Yes.
And you would support that if that were proposed?
It depends on how the legislation is written. It depends on what it calls for. But I'm now of the mind that that's what it's going to have to be.
Major case, what's the march? I'm gonna help you.
Back at the major case squad, a tip and a breakthrough. Police say they've finally identified Pattern 2 to be this man, Michael Sikorsky, just 24 years old, an alleged serial bank robber still on the loose. But as each case draws to a close,
At this point, this looks like a new player.
another chase begins. And tonight, police tell us they're hopeful of an arrest in the case of the man they call Pattern 2. And when we come back, the last gasp for GM and Chrysler, President Obama throws the struggling automakers an unprecedented